Can a character in the game
We're getting into simulation theory, apparently. Okay.
Can a piece of creation understand the creation as a whole is the question.
The creation, like
All of creation as a whole, not God.
It's like the clone theory that you were talking about.
Sort of. This is a different take on it, though.
Well, I would say,
but like understanding everything that's within that.
Yeah.
I would say you'd have to be able to let's say that all of creation stems from one type of molecule. We'll say all of creation
X-molecule.
Sure. X molecule, and everything in all of existence
stems from that.
Is from that, like is
but you
made
still
out
have
of
to
that.
Figure out how everything came from that.
Yeah, so you have to figure out how everything came from that, and then you have to apply the different, I guess, versions of that thing or those creations and apply it to the rest of creation. And if you can do that, then I think you can understand creation fully. But if you can't do that, which you can't without
here's
an eternity of time.
No, that's a good argument, but here's another one that I thought of. So if God created all of the universe and then gave us all knowledge of how the entire universe was created, how everything works, how everything is made, how everything functions together in its entirety, which would be ridiculous. Our brains would be the size of the solar system. Actually, no, it'd be the same size because God's insane like that.
Yeah.
Take it back. But if you knew everything about the universe, the one thing that you would not know is how the heck God was able to do that. How did he stuff all that information to your brain, dude? How? And even if you knew, you don't know for sure. You don't know, like, you weren't there for it. Like, there's a difference between knowing and knowing, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, dude?
Okay.
Yeah, basically off that point, I don't think it is possible.
Yeah.
Just because alone in this fact, there have been many people that have known many different languages, but they can't understand all of them.
Fair.
Yeah.
And guess what God did in an afternoon? Created all of those languages.
And again,
that's just one subsection of human knowledge.
We can think about
human knowledge, not universal, like the whole universe of knowledge.
Yeah. Well, think about the firmament, right?
Good point.
We have the firmament, right? That's referenced in the Bible, but that is a human articulation of something that I don't think I'm compelled to believe that we actually know entirely what it is.
What the firmament is.
Yeah. Like is it just the space between the earth and
the atmosphere,
the space outside of our atmosphere, or is it beyond that?
How would Moses have known that?
Yeah.
I think we see John writing down Revelations, and he has no idea what he's writing down. The angel just tells him to write it down.
Sure.
So do you think Moses was sort of doing the same thing? God's like, here's a scientific word, and Moses is like, sure, I'll write that down.
I think he had the language for it. I think he had, because we're getting back into my book, because the word determination is completely terminate. Okay. So you have to take the data that you have and you have to come up with a boundary line. You have to do whatever you possibly can to just answer whatever problem you're trying to answer or solve or whatever. You have to take whatever limited time that you have and you have to just come up with something or whatever makes the most sense is what you're going to completely terminate to. That's you're gonna cancel out everything else that doesn't make sense and you're gonna be like, this is the only thing that makes sense. And so that's language. It's I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think we really understand language, but because I think that Adam was created and he just spoke.
Yeah.
And so language just was. And then he named all the creatures, right?
Yeah, that's proof for my argument is like he knew how to speak, but he didn't know how he knew how to speak.
Yeah, so it's like it's just these sounds, and then if you think about every other or it's sounds that are directed at specific things.
Yeah.
And you know,
sounds that represent.
I make this sound and you understand it because I'm looking at the sound. Or when you're a child, it's like, hey, this is and, you know, and that's and, you know, and
with the slight inflection.
Yeah. Well, and that's what ends up being language, right? And we have to just take whatever sounds that we hear and give them a name
and agree upon
it. And you know, as we have developed as people, we've just come up with whatever makes sense.
Isn't that just another form of magic? Doesn't that just boggle your mind? Yeah, language.
I mean, do we fully understand how the voice box works?
I don't even think we understand how cells work, to be honest with you.
Do we fully understand sound?
Just because of like cell neuron inputs, like even with sound and language, like the interpretation between like what you're saying is sound. You have to realize too that there might be different inputs that from the ear canal that it takes in and sends to your brain. Each word is different. Electrical signals. So I don't think
how does it even do that?
Yeah, and like, that's always the question, right? It's like, okay, we understand that gravity works a certain way, but like, where did the gravity come from?
We don't know, dude.
We don't know.
We still don't know.
We're
looking for a particle, maybe.
Yeah, but then we're gonna find that particle, and guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna be like, so how did this particle do this thing? Like, we know that we can make sound. We know that it's two things that are kind of doing whatever, but how? What's happening?
There's always a new question.
Yeah.
Always.